companies in town have been riddled with fraudulent experiences, and their systems have gone down. And so this isn't just specific to real estate communities nowadays. It's industry-wide, city-wide, and so that's why it's very, very important that you are working with a company who has the protection in place to make sure that your transactions are secure. And with our new in-here transaction portal, we're going to make sure that your client's information is secure, the wiring instructions is as secure as possible. You're going to be able to communicate strictly within the app, because we don't want to take it outside of the portal and leave it up to possible fraudulent experiences. It's so important when you get a deal into escrow right now. We see the numbers. We know that every single time you get a deal into escrow, we need to make sure we do what's best to get it closed. We have experienced staff. Kelly Lobeck is one of the most brilliant escrow minds in the business, and she can definitely handle that stuff. It's the stuff that we can't handle, the outside, the villain trying to come in and take your client's money. You want to make sure it's secure. You want to ask yourself who you're sending your business to, because who you work with matters. We're the most financially secure title company in the nation. We have the backing. If anything does happen, that we can front the money, heaven forbid. But that's just something that you have to ask yourself. Are you keeping your client's money safe? You need to make sure you're working with a reputable company. Ticor Title is that company for you. So if you have not had an opportunity to work with us yet, we would love the opportunity to handle your next transaction, because Jeremy and Laura and Ashley are amazing on the escrow side, or excuse me, on the marketing side. We can help you out in developing business. Kelly will be a slam dunk on the actual escrow, and you have the backing of a Fortune 500 company all behind it. So thank you guys very, very much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate your consideration of Ticor Title on your next transaction.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I totally spaced, I guess, because Roya was a few minutes late coming in, and she's always my trigger to remind you, hey, any wants and needs, because she always has one. Roya, you have nothing?
I don't. My listings are all sold right now.
Wow.
Buyers,
Wants and needs, anybody need to sell a listing? Have a buyer that,
Beta.
Beta,
Come on up.
come on up.
You're the next.
Yay, Beta, our cold calling king. He's here every morning at 8:30.
Yes.
Two two-bedroom condos, 978 square feet, new flooring, fresh paint, 89103 in the Bella Vita complex. 215. Both of them are 215.
Bella Vita's great. Yeah, I actually have one person for that.
Okay, thank you, Beta. Anybody else? Come on up to the microphone so that we can hear you. Well, of course, it always works that way.
Hi, everybody. I'm Penny. I'm new to Signature, but I have some listings I would love to tell you about. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, thank you. So I have some listings in Seven Hills. I have a one that's 2,900 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. It's priced at 1.3. Pool and spa. It's absolutely gorgeous, completely remodeled. There is another one in Seven Hills for 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,600 square feet for 1.150 million. And another one, 3,163 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, gorgeous view, 1.9.
Nice job, Penny.
So if anyone has any buyers in Seven Hills, I would love to show these.
Great place, great area.
Great, welcome to Signature. Okay, next, the push is on for our Making Strides for Breast Cancer, and Denise is going to talk about it today. Are you coming, Adam?
Get up off your happy ass and get up here.
Whoa, I guess she told you.
Well, thank you for showing up, Adam. He was supposed to be my wingman last week and no show. Even in his own office. Anyway, so I want to tell you where we're at right now. We have raised $1,050 in lunch tickets. Yep, $12.75 in raffle basket tickets. We still have the raffle luncheon, which we'd like all of you to attend. It's $35. It's on the 30th, and there's going to be more raffle prizes there. We have 2 tickets to the Smith Center to Temptations, 2 tickets to the Awakening. We have night stay at Red Rock with $250 gift certificate to T-Bones. There's a ton, so you have to be present on that one to win. But what I'm peddling today is some tickets for the baskets over here. We have 6 really nice baskets. All of them are worth $250 or more. So you do not have to be present to win one of those. But to get those, 1 ticket is $5, or you can get 6 tickets for $25, 15 tickets for $50, or 40 for $100. And again, you do not have to be present to win. That we will take over, draw your name. If you get it, we'll bring it back. So hoping we could get raise a lot more money today.
So who wants to buy tickets right now? We're reaching $100 a piece. It's not that much money. We all make a lot of money in this room. Let's do this. That's it. That's all I said.
That's his push.
Y'all be on the phone for that.
But we'll be here after the meeting too. My office is back in that back corner, and we'll be able to sell some tickets after as well.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Denise and Adam. I also want to remind you about our company picnic, our 10th annual company picnic, which will be Friday night, this coming Friday from 5 to 8 at the Hills Park in Summerlin on Hill Point. And bring your family's welcome. It's a dog-friendly park, but your dog must be on a leash. There's no alcohol involved. You're not allowed to have alcohol in the park. So I would just throw out one word, discreet. And if you're coming, we need to know because we're having food trucks, so there's no mess, there's no fuss, there's no cleanup, there's no carting food up the hill to the pavilion area where we will be between the middle school and the elementary school. So please RSVP so we have enough food. If you're bringing 4 people, let us know and say, hey, I'm bringing my whole family. There are 4 of us. So RSV to Kyla at the southwest front desk. You can RSVP to Kyla on the app, or you can email her at Kyla, K-H-Y-L-A, at signatureenv.com. The other thing I'm pushing today is our bake sale, which will be the first Tuesday in October. Last year, we raised a ton of money from this for breast cancer. It'll be downstairs, right in that little alcove area under the stairs. And we are asking that you donate baked goods, and we will be downstairs selling them from 9 to 10. So my plan was to stock up on desserts for Thanksgiving and Christmas and take them home and freeze them. Unfortunately, they didn't last that long, but that's always a plan for you to get your baking out of the way. So if you're going to donate a baked good, please let Sherry KK know. And the other thing, too, I forgot to add about our picnic, if you can bring a dessert to share, we would appreciate that. Now, I want to tell you one quick story before I bring up our guest speaker for the morning. And there's really nothing new under the sun. Now, you have a paragraph in the RPA that says this contract is assignable only with the permission of all parties. I'm not even sure why that's in there, but it is. So let me tell you what happened back in 2005 when the market was really, really hot. Prices were going up like $10,000 every 4 days or 4 hours. I was in line one time at new construction, couldn't get in the door for the line, and they came out and said, we just raised the price of all our models across the board $10,000. Called my client, and I said, I'm still in line. They've raised the price. She said, I'm still in. Still hadn't made it to the door, and the track agent came out and said, we have raised the prices of all our models across the board another $10,000. Now, that's how hot the market was. So here's what happened. So, seller puts his house on the market. Buyer 1 writes an offer on the house. It gets accepted. While it's still in escrow, buyer 1 assigns it to someone else, buyer number 2, for like $20,000 more than he's buying it from the seller. A lot of people were in front of the real estate division for that, but it was going on. And then buyer one, who had done nothing but write a contract, when it closed with buyer number two, buyer one put $20,000 in his pocket, and the seller got the price that was on the original offer. Well, since then, the real estate division has ruled that assignments are unfair dealing, and they even use the phrase, the real estate division frowns on them, and that the seller should get the benefit of the final sales price. And then the other thing that kind of comes into play is buyer one is selling it, but they don't own it. You can't sell something you don't own, but they're putting money in their pocket. So 2 Friday nights ago, I spent a long time on the phone with one of my agents and his escrow officer. There's nothing new under the sun. Our market's a little quirky. These people are coming out of the woodwork again. And here's what happened. Get an offer on my agent's property at list. Seller accepts it. It's a cash offer. Then he gets an addendum assigning it to buyer number two, who is getting a loan and paying $65,000 over the price that the seller was originally offered. Not only that, but the $65,000 that's being paid over is not going to the seller. It's specified in the assignment addendum that is to be split evenly among 4 LLCs. I went nutso on the phone. Nutso. And the escrow officer, who I don't think had been around in 05 when this was 06 when this was really going on, she's like, well, we're going to refund the original buyer's earnest deposit on Monday, which was part of the thing. I'm like, yeah, no. First of all, the real estate division says this is unfair dealing and they frown on it and you can't do it. And I told my agent point blank, you cannot do that. So, the other thing too, and I could be totally off base here, this sort of struck me as money laundering. They were laundering $65,000 for something. So I brought that up. Well, that kind of scared the escrow officer. And she said, well, and it was like 7 o'clock by now. And she said, well, I'm going to talk to our legal department on Monday. So I told my agent, I said, you call your seller, you explain everything to him, and tell him he is not to accept the assignment, because the seller had not signed it yet. So the seller refused to sign it, praise the Lord, and the whole deal fell apart. Do not do assignments. I don't even know why we have that paragraph in our RPA. So any questions on that? Okay, so kind of sparse today. We have Brandon, we have Tom, we have Chris. They're all at the state board meeting. Shelley has gone to California. But we're fortunate we have Tony with Prosperity Lending for the mortgage moment.
Good morning, everyone. How are we? Had a few inquiries recently about assumable loans. So I just wanted to put this out there. You may well be aware, but all government-backed loans are eligible to be assumed. So FHA, VA, USDA is the other, probably less known option. there are benefits. The obvious one to the buyer or the prospective buyer is the majority of those loans are going to come with a lower interest rate if they've been taken out in the last 1 to 5 years, maybe even longer. So that's clearly a big incentive for the buyer if they can get into that loan. A couple of things. The investor on the first needs to give approval for the loan to be assumed by the buyer. The buyer goes through the same pre-qualification process as normal, but there may be additional overrides that the investor's obviously, trying to protect their position. They want to know the payments are still going to be coming in. The remaining balance interest rate repayment method remain the same. That doesn't change. Only the responsibility of paying the debt obviously changes from the seller to the buyer. Okay? Assumable mortgage allows a buyer to acquire the remaining balance of the principal loan. It does not factor in equity. Bear in mind. So if a home has gained in value, which we've seen obviously quite significantly in the last few years, the current loan balance is being taken over, but the buyer will need to pay the difference, the equity, either with cash or with another loan. Again, I don't know if you've come across this, but I had one just recently, a VA loan. And the guy was taking over the loan, but the property had gone up. They were paying $500,000 for it. The loan was only $220,000. Got to cover the $280,000. The seller's not going to give that up. You can take out a HELOC, which is probably the most popular method if you do a second loan, or obviously cover it with cash. But even on a VA loan, which obviously normally is a 100% loan, you still have to come in with a 5%, at least 5% at the end. Some lenders require 10%. So it's not quite as clear cut as it might be. As I mentioned, most lenders will go up to 95%. Not most. Some lenders will go 95% between the first and second. Some are also capped at 90%. So you can imagine you got to come in 25,000, 50,000. Some people do that, have that money kicking around. Some don't. But it's definitely something to consider. The seller may be liable for the loan responsibility unless the appropriate documentation is filed with the current investor. So the seller obviously needs to protect themselves in that situation. Okay? With low inventory, this may be an option for prospective buyers to find a property that otherwise might not be available to them and acquire a loan that market interest rate at the same time, lower than market interest rate. The market interest rate, I should say, at the same time. So definitely benefits to the buyer and to the seller in certain circumstances, but some hurdles or some hoops to jump through, slightly different from a traditional qualifying for a normal loan. Okay? Any questions on that? Did it make sense? Okay, just another string to your bow. Go ahead, Andrew. Correct. And also there's a question of what is the entitlement of the borrower. Does the borrower have sufficient entitlement to take over the loan? That also comes into the equation as well. Okay? Feel free to get hold of me or any of the Prosperity. We have our little cubby hole back here, so I'm around at least 3 or 4 days a week, and I know the other LOs are as well. So, all right, enjoy your day. See you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. So as I just told you, with half the people at Signature being out of town, we're fortunate today that Vanda, who's out of town a lot, she's here. And she's going to be our guest speaker. We've been talking about mindset, affirmations, positive outlook, business planning. And so Vanda is going to talk to you about your mindset.
Well, hello. All right, mindset. Jeez. All right, I've got an assessment questionnaire. If you could just grab one, pass it around so that everybody gets it. And we're going to take a few minutes to fill that out. But while that's being passed around, I want to have a conversation about mindset. So we are in a very, how did that get, okay, thank you. We are in a marketplace right now that a lot of people, I've heard rumors, are scared about what's about to happen. I got one chuckle. Nobody else is really here. Hi, I'm Vandana. Okay, perfect. How are you feeling about what's happening in our marketplace right now? Sorry? Sad. Tell me why. So I'm hearing sad because I'm not finding any buyers. What else? Interest rates are high. Okay. What else? What is that? How does that make you feel? Stressed. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I get sad or stressed, or I've got so many things on my mind about where the next transaction's going to come from, I don't want to get out of bed. Anyone else? Okay. You wish, my friend, you wish. Not today. Or in this lifetime. Also, I love your wife, so there's that. So I think the struggle here is that we're not prepared to actually face this marketplace, whatever's happening. Now, are there moments when the market is crazy and doing really well and transactions are happening all the time? Is there a time then also that you have a hard time finding buyers and sellers? Yeah. It happens no matter what's going on with the marketplace. How many of you have been in the market and been in real estate as a real estate licensee for more than 10 years? Okay, not our first rodeo. 15 years? Not our first rodeo. 20? Definitely not our first rodeo. Okay, so for those of you who have seen hands raised, so the 20 years, let me see those high. See those high? Okay, contact them because they know what happened and they know how to get through it. That's going to be one of the things about mindset is that you've got to find people that have done it before and lean in, leverage them, learn from them. That's going to be key for mindset. So take a minute to fill out the survey, and we're going to run through a couple of things as we go through, as I talk about mindset and how to prep for this Q4. Don't worry, for those of you online, we'll review them for you. Thank you. Those are not enough?
She's getting some more copies made. So you're talking to Janet? Yeah, she took them, she's making more copies.
Do we need more copies?
Yeah.
I bet.
That's it. What are we doing? Filling out the form right now?
Yeah. Are you holding them all? Yeah, Beta's got a couple if you need papers. Just take another minute. There's 8 questions on here. We're going to run through them. Okay, let's run through really quickly. Number one, I believe my abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. You get to agree or disagree. Those of you online, go ahead and start doing your own. Agree or disagree, that's question one. Question number two, I often embrace challenges and opportunities for growth and learning. Agree or disagree. Number three, when faced with setbacks, I tend to persist and try new strategies to overcome them. Agree or disagree. Number four, I see constructive criticism as valuable feedback for improvement. Agree or disagree. If you agreed to those first four, you get 1 point for each. Score accordingly. Question number five, I believe that talent and intelligence are fixed traits and can't be changed. Agree or disagree. Number six, I avoid challenges and prefer to stick with what I already know I'm good at. Agree or disagree. Number seven, when faced with a setback, I might give up rather than continue trying. Agree or disagree. And number eight, constructive criticism often feels like a personal attack to me. Agree or disagree. If you got 5, 6, 7, and 8 and you answered those with disagree, you get a point for each. You're going to add up all your points. Points 0 through 2, you've got a strong fixed mindset. And we're going to talk about what that means. Points 3 through 4, you have a moderate fixed mindset. And points 5 through 8, you are a strong growth mindset. So let's talk about what that means. Next, please, slide. Thank you. Next slide. Thank you. So when you go through these, a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, and this is going to be important and key for how to develop and what we're going to do to move forward within strategies. This is all going to tie into business planning, which we're going to talk about the next month. So with a growth mindset, your belief is that the abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. How many of you are strong in your growth mindset? Raise them high. Be proud. Yes, it's great. Okay. The challenges are that seen as opportunities for growth and learning means that you're constantly growing and learning consistently all the time. Effort embraced as a necessary part of the learning process. There's some setbacks and then feedback. I'm not going to go and read all of those. I just wanted to cover those top 3 things. And then a fixed mindset. It means that it's inherent. It is something that you already know. Tasks that you've completed, things that you've done. I mean, that's pretty obvious, I think, from the questions, right? Challenges often avoided due to fear of failure or looking incompetent. And the effort may be viewed as a sign of weakness or lack of intent. And so there's some good and bad for each one of these, which I wanted to cover really quickly. So even if you have a fixed mindset, it's okay, because some of you work really well in that fixed mindset. Things have been working well for you and you continue to move in that manner. While others, and I am actually of the growth mindset, I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly, and for most of us who have been in this business for 20 years, I can tell you right now, so are we. All of us. If you've been in the business and you've gone through these ups and downs, that growth mindset is going to be key. If you're not open to learning new things, the chances of you riding this wave of a marketplace is going to be tough. It's going to be slim. So we want to get you in a place where your mindset is open to new possibilities. That's what real estate's about, to be honest with you. Our marketplace is constantly changing. I mean, we've got so many things going on. I've got agents that are freaking out because of what's happening with NAR and what's happening with the DOJ and the cases that just settled and how they're all sort of dominoing. Hey, it is what it is. You've got to continue to move forward in a positive mindset about it. Next slide, please. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. And you can actually there's resilience versus resistance. You can continue to embrace the challenges that we're facing in our marketplace and find new ways to get through them. Or you can just avoid them. How many of you believe that avoiding the challenges is going to make you successful? Anyone here? Cool. So resilience is going to be is key as you go into this new marketplace, this new trend, this Q4. Strategies for developing resilience. Maintain a growth mindset, which is what we talked about. You've got to learn continuously. How are you going to do that? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Seek mentorship and guidance, develop a support network, cultivate emotional intelligence, and focus on self-care and well-being. I do not think that there is a more important mastering of the mindset than that. That focus on self-care and well-being is probably the number one thing. Anybody here have a morning routine? You do. Tell me about it. Wait, hold on. Let's give you a mic so that people online can hear you too. Can I have a mic runner? Come on
Hey
up.
guys, my name's Jeremy. My morning routine is based on Hal Elrod. Anybody heard of him?
Yes, love him.
He wrote a book called The Miracle Morning.
Yes, he did.
And so there are a few things that I do every day. And I tend to follow that path, including reading, writing, exercise, meditation, and I'm missing one. But every morning I spend about at least 10 to 15 minutes on each one of those things. And that just helps me to get the day started. Make sure I start the day on a positive note, and that no matter what else happens for the rest of the day, I've accomplished something for myself. And so kind of
That's
building
awesome.
on what she says.
So Miracle Morning, I read that book like 3 years ago. I didn't even know about it. And then all of a sudden I read it and it changed my life. And then I did Ninja Selling, and I read Ninja Selling. It's a very similar concept to Miracle Morning, and it's got a twist to the Miracle Morning, similar to morning routines, changed my life. And I'm telling you, this right here, what he was talking about, just doing those little things in the morning, and we'll talk about, like my morning routine is very similar, and I'll talk about that. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jeremy. Is very similar in that sense that unless I get my mind right in the morning, it's almost impossible to go through the rest of the day for me. It is almost impossible. There's not, I walk in, even when I walk into the office, I have a routine. I do not check my emails, by the way. How many of you wake up and pull your phone out and start looking at your emails and your text messages from the night before? I mean, that's one sure way to start your day off crappy. I'm going to tell you right now. It really is. Because everything you do for the rest of the day is going to be determined by what you do first thing. Okay? Next slide, please. So we're going to talk a little bit about confidence and self-belief. Why does confidence matter? Why do you think confidence matters? I'm happy to provide this, by the way. Janet, I'll give you the slides for the newsletter. Yeah, so that you can send it out to everybody. Confidence is key. It's like one of the fundamental factors of achieving success. But do you think you can become, I mean, how many of us have lived our entire life with stories about ourselves? I mean, I've got them. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I can't do this. I'm not going to be capable. I mean, I've got them even today, every day. I woke up this morning and I was like, what if I don't deliver anything that's going to resonate with them in this sales meeting? What if they don't get anything from what I talk about today? That to me is like a huge fail. Like I'm constantly doing that. Do I belong on a stage? Do I belong in a classroom teaching agents or anyone? Anything. I've got my own stories. But that was when I woke up. And then I did my morning routine. And all that went away. And now whether you learn something or not, that's on you. Legit, that's on you. And so I say that because that's what the day sets me up for. That's what my morning sets me up for. Right, Jeremy? Doesn't matter. I'm going to put in 110% no matter what happens the rest of the day. I got it. It'll be okay. So confidence is important. And how does it play a role in your life with your clients? Let's talk about that. How does confidence play a role in your life with your clients? Your clients. Yeah, if you're confident, your clients know it. They'll trust you more. They'll respect your opinion. They'll know what you're talking about. What else? And by the way, those of you online, you can throw all of that stuff in the chat. It's going to be important. Beta's monitoring all of that if there's any
When
questions.
you become an expert in your field, like they feel like you're the expert in your field, they trust what you're going to say.
Yeah. And does that happen overnight? Am I going to wake up tomorrow morning, meditate, exercise, do the Jeremy routine? Am I going to wake up in the morning and be like, hey, I'm good. I'm confident. I know everything that I'm talking about. Nothing else matters. It takes time. You got to learn it. You've got to have that growth mindset in order to proceed in doing it. So a couple of things that will help you in that self-belief for confidence. There's a list right here. All of this, like I said, I'm going to give it to Janet. You guys do not have to copy every single one of them, but just go through it. Role-playing scenarios. I walk in here into the office every morning, and there's one person that is constantly role-playing. Constantly role-playing. And he is getting better and better. I remember the first time he role-played, and I remember on Thursday or Friday, he walked in my office. He's like, hey, V, you got a minute? Can we role-play? What he started with from day one and what he ended up with now, so different. But that's because he built his confidence. He continued to do the same thing. He role-played every day. Is there someone in your office, in your life, in this office that you could role-play with for confidence? I'm not just talking about cold calling because it's not all about that. How many of you have, when you first started, any newbies in here? Huh? Any newbies? No? Yeah? So how many of you have actually read the RPA from beginning to end 20 times? 20 times from beginning to end. One time? One time you think you're an expert now? You think you're an expert now? No. But you will be if you read it 20 times. It's role play. How many of you can walk into this room or in this office and sit down with another agent or a broker or anyone else and say, hey, I want to present this RPA to you. Let me know what I did right. Let me know how I can improve. I have agents on my team that if they're brand new, they have to read the RPA into my voicemail. Well, actually, it's Voxer. But read it into Voxer every day for 30 days straight. You think they're going to be good at what the RPA says? You think they're going to know what it says? Do you think they can tell you what page the inspections are on? How cool is that if you're sitting in front of your clients and they're like, well, how many inspections? Well, if you go to page 6, boom, like that, they're right there on the very top. And the seller says, do I have to have the utilities on? Well, yeah, it's actually in 3 places in the contract. You'll see it under page 2 on this section, under page 4 on this section, under page 6 on this section, and under page 9 on this. How many of you can rattle that off like that? Not a lot. I can guarantee it because you haven't read the RPA. Role play that stuff. Those of you know me, that was a different word that was about to come in. Elevator pitch practice. What do you do in real estate? How many of you sit here and say, or what do you do? What do you do? Because everybody always asks you, you go out to dinner, you go hang out with friends, what do you do? How many of you are like, I'm a real estate? Like it's kind of like, eh. You've done it before. Every single one of you who said that you haven't is lying. You're a big fat liar. I've done it. I've done it multiple times. I'm just in real estate. What do you say? Beta? What do you do? I sell homes. Anyone else? What do you do? Yeah, what do you say when someone says, what do you do?
I say I'm a realtor. No, I say,
Trust me, I'm a realtor.
Oh, I do the same thing. I do real estate, and sometimes it depends on the person too. Sometimes I'll say, I can help you with one of the biggest purchases you've ever made in your entire life. I can, help you with some of your financial decisions towards real estate.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you can say.
Okay.
And I think one of the biggest mistakes agents make when people ask that they're not really proud that they're a realtor.
Yeah.
They say, well, I'm a realtor now, but I used to be a teacher, or I used to work in finance, or I used to be in the hospitality industry. They always throw in that past life to maybe give them more.
Yeah, some more. Yeah, your past life to give you more credibility. Yeah, right? Ask me. I help people build legacies. I help people build legacies. I'm a legacy creator. I help people build wealth through this little thing called real estate. It's all in the delivery too, right? How does that sound in comparison to, well, I used to be a teacher, but now I'm in real estate because I wanted to free up some time. I mean, now I've done what Janet said. I've sort of given some credibility from my past, and now I'm saying I'm doing this because of this. I'm a legacy creator. I change people's lives. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Video presentations. Those of you who are not on video, you're missing out. You guys, that's how people know you know what you're talking about. They see you. I'm going to tell you right now. And if you go back about 3 years, I mean, Beta, I remember when we started working together, I mean, I constantly was shaking. I was like, I don't want to be in front of a camera. I've been doing this for so long. Like, this is my thing, right? I teach agents about real estate. I know what I'm talking about. I was scared to death. I probably made 1,000, like how many cuts did we do? Like 1,000 of them before I finally got the script right. And then I made him get a teleprompter. But, but I will tell you, video is where it's at. My clients know what I'm talking about because my video is constantly going, and they know where to reference. If they go on, they can go on my YouTube channel, they can go on my Instagram, they can go on my Facebook. When I contact my clients about real estate stuff, it's through video. They ask me a question, I send them a video. How many of you are doing that? My birthday just passed. Go ahead, wish me.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I had probably, so I coach a lot of agents, and all of them, I'm like, you need to get on video. I don't care what the message is, you need to be on video. They sent me video happy birthday messages. It doesn't matter what they're telling me, what the message is. It's always video. You think you're going to get good at it if you practice it and you do it enough and you do it for everything? How many of you are scared of video? Like the camera goes on, you're like, I don't know what I look like. I don't know what's in it. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Honestly, try video. Just give it a shot. I don't like what my voice sounds like. That's a story. I don't like what I look like. I mean, I told Beta, I was like, you better have a lot of lighting in here today. It's probably a little extra for normal meetings. It's just how I do it. But I know, right? So video. Get on video, you guys. Public speaking workshops. Start learning. If you haven't done that and you're nervous, start doing workshops. Or just get up and start talking about, like, just do it. Part of what you were talking about, the miracle morning, Jeremy, positive affirmations. I think that's the thing that you were missing. Affirmations of visualizations. Visualization is different. If you're not putting together, so last year, this year, every year we put a poster board together, my team does, about what we're visualizing for the year, what we want to see. Last year on it was to pay off my house. I did it. Yeah. But I didn't do it just randomly. I had to do the positive affirmations. There was work that had to be put in. Y'all have to do the same thing. Goal setting, tracking, set realistic goals. We'll talk about what that looks like in the next couple of slides. Peer feedback and support. Again, that's going to go back to the role playing. Continuing education. How many of you go to continuing education so you can actually get some work done? Yeah, shame on you. Some continuing education instructors are so good that you'll actually learn something with every class. Pay attention. If you walk away with one thing from that class that's going to help you in your business, it was worth it. It was worth those 3 hours. Like, go all in. Everywhere you go, start learning. Every single day, I'm reading something or watching a video about real estate to be a better agent, to be a better broker, to be a better team leader, to be a better coach, to be a better presenter to be a better everything. Constantly. I do two articles or videos about real estate. Every single day. So I'll go to Inman, I go to YouTube, I'll watch a couple, like there's some real estate agents, and like I love watching Sirhan. He's got some really good content. Ryan Pineda's got some good content. I do a lot of Inman. I will read articles that I get sent from LVR, NVR, NAR. So I'll do a lot of things like that. Just to kind of understand what's happening in the marketplace. Because if I know what's happening, then nobody can say, hey, what's going on with that? Like y'all know, we just had there was a $55 million lawsuit that just got settled. $55 million. And then the week before it was 80 something million. You should know that. People are going to start asking. It's big news right now. You need to know all of those things. Positive self-talk goes back to affirmations. Go to the next slide. All right, so let's talk about goal setting. So goal setting, it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. What does that mean? Huh? So it has to be realistic. You have to set some parameters around it. It can't just be I want to play softball. Cool. When? How good do you want to be? How often are you going to practice? What's the situation? Do you understand? So like when I say I want to pay off my house, great. I will in 30 years. Y'all will in 30 years, unless you got a 15-year loan, and it'll be 15 years. But that's not what I'm talking about. How do you want to do it? It's got to be measurable. I remember 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to lose weight. I lost almost 70 pounds 60 pounds in 6 months. But I put that down as my goal. Now it's to actually have a body fat percentage that is lower. And I know what my current body fat percentage is and where I want it to be and what's realistic. And then I put a time limit on that. When's that going to be done by? Physical is the easiest for me to go to. So what I want you to do really quickly is list 5 things right now, and I want you to do some goal setting on it. So do some goal setting. Make sure you set 5 goals, whether it is for your, primarily for business. Let's talk primarily for business, but it can also be about physicality. It can be about relationships. It can be about any of those things. So financial, relationships, physical. Any one of those. 5 things. Your top 5. Those of you at home, please do the same thing. And keep SMART in mind. One of your goals should definitely be financial, if not 2. Those of you online, if you want to put in one or two of your goals, that would be great. Go ahead and put them in the chat. Beta can read them to us. Okay, who wants to share? One or two of them.
Okay, so for me, I did 20 more closings before 2023. I did 2023 as my benchmark, so there's only a couple more left.
Perfect. Okay, hold on. Let's go through that really quickly. Hold on. So you said 20 more closings before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Before 2023 ends. Okay. Is that specific enough? Yeah.
Okay.
Is it measurable? 20 closings. Yes, it's measurable. Is it achievable? How do you know? I don't know. Is it achievable?
Yeah.
Where are you at? How many transactions do you
we
do a
just
month?
did 3, so we do like about 5 to 6 a month.
5 to 6 a month. Okay, so 5 to 6 a month. That means there's 3
It's a little
months
bit of a
left.
stretch
You've got,
goal.
yeah, so it's a little bit of a stretch goal.
Yeah.
So she's got some game in her. Okay, so that's achievable. Is it relevant? Yeah, it's relevant, timely. Yep. And is it time bound? By the end of 23? Yes. Okay,
Keep
go ahead.
going?
Yeah, go
Oh.
ahead.
And then that kind of parlays into the 150K added to the account by 2023.
Okay.
Because that goes into the commissions and everything by the time if I have anybody that's a override or anything like that.
Perfect.
And then I add 5 more seasoned agents to my team
There you go. 5 more seasoned agents.
by 2023.
I was about to say by when.
That is
so
all by
end of.
2023.
By
End
the
of,
end of
end of
20
the year, yeah.
Okay, by end of year.
Pick up, well, I did this one. This is a little bit more probably personal, but pick up 1 more property before the end of the year. So like I wanted to buy 1 more property before we end the year.
Okay.
And then because my job is recruiting for Signature, I want to add 20 more agents by 2023 to the Green Valley office.
Oh, Brandon loves that one.
I'll bet Brandon.
Brandon, if you're watching, she's got your back on this. Okay, who else? Anybody have goals that they set? Don't make me call on you.
You don't have to. You can pass it along.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Let's see here. I also want to buy another investment property for the year of 2024.
Okay.
And this one's a little personal, but no, not personal, but kind of selfish.
They're all personal.
Yeah, well, this
by
one's
the
kind of
way.
selfish. I'm looking, or I want to buy I want to buy a Cybertruck in 2024 as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So hold on. Let's do that really quick. Is it specific? What's a Cybertruck? We all know what he's talking about. It's a Tesla truck, right? Measurable. Yeah. Achievable.
Yep.
Is it?
Definitely.
Okay. Relevant. It's important to him. Time bound by the end of the year. By 2024?
2024.
Okay. By the end of 2024. Got it. Okay. In 2024. When in 2024?
Yeah, that was not specific.
Yeah.
By the end of 2024.
Okay. By the end of 2024. There you go. Who else? I'm going to hand it to you. Yeah, to you. Pass the mic to her, please. You got anyone online? Well, that's sad. Rude. Come on, guys. Get in there. Go ahead.
I want to buy an investment property by the end of the year.
Buy an investment property by the
Yeah.
end of this is a popular one. Investment property by the end of 20. Is it specific enough? Measurable? We've done this one, right? Yep. Okay. What else?
And I want to get a firm morning routine down.
A firm morning routine down. All
I
right.
have a little bit
Thank
of
you. Thank you for offering this one because we're about to, it's a teachable moment. So, is it specific? She wants a morning routine. Okay. Is it measurable? Morning routine, is it measurable? She doesn't have one now. She's gonna. Measurable? Yeah. Achievable? Totally. I mean, we do it. Jeremy does it. I do it. Is it relevant to her? Absolutely. Is it time bound? Nope. When are you going to start?
I said I have to have it set by Friday.
Set by this Friday. All right. So, what I want you to do is when you get that done on Friday and you've started your morning routine on Friday, I want you to stick it into our Facebook page.
Okay.
We are all holding you accountable. Which office are you in?
This one.
Janet's going to hold you accountable.
Okay.
Make sure you tag Janet and tag me and tag Roya. Okay? You got it? What's your assignment? To tag everyone. Yeah. Tag everyone that you are accountable. Who else? I got time for one more. One more. Come on. Take it on. It's all right. We're all sharing here.
Well, I want to lose 10 pounds for the end of the year,
Okay.
and also want to be a better mom and a better version of myself every day.
Okay. Let's do that. Is it? Let's go down smart. Tell me. You tell me now. We've done this a couple times. You tell me.
What do I tell?
So, is it specific enough?
Yes.
You want to be a better mom?
Every day.
Every day? Okay. is it measurable? Is it measurable? Is it measurable?
Yes.
We're going to ask your kids. You're going to do a survey?
Yes.
So kids,
No,
what
I'm
can
gonna
I
ask
do
them.
better? I actually do have conversations with my children. I every so often I have those discussions of like, when you're older, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to say to other people about your childhood and me as a mom? Because if there's room for improvement, I bet you they're going to tell me. Because my kids are like that. Okay. What else? Is it achievable to be a better mom?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously it's relevant. And is it time bound?
Time bound. It's every day.
By when?
It's every
It's
day.
every single day?
Every
You're going to
single day.
continuously
I
do.
have to practice every day.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're gonna walk through some of the strategies that I have in place, you guys, just to show you what that looks like. But I have some. That's it. You're done. You're like, take away the mic. Okay. So what you want to do is make sure that your goals are actually smart in this way, and that's how you're going to continue to push forward. And I'll walk you through some of the things that I've done that are going to be relevant as you do business planning as well. Next, please. Visualization is going to be important. By the way, if you can engage all of your senses in the visualization of what this goal looks like, you're going to be winning before you even know it. Visualization is key. Okay. Mindset. So building a winning mindset routine, knowledge, obviously, education equips individuals with valuable industry knowledge. Like I said, there's a couple of articles that I read, YouTube videos that I watch. And you know what I'll do, Janet, I'll also send you some of the other ones that I watch because it's not just limited, because I know Beto is asking, it's not limited to just the ones that I said here. Growth, because there's some that just pop up randomly that I'll watch too. Growth, personal development fosters growth, adaptability, and resilience. And then you've got inspiration. Reading can inspire new ideas and perspectives. So reading is going to be really important. And that's part of also the Miracle Morning. Next slide. How many people have heard about this? How many people got into real estate so that they could have a good work-life balance? So many of you are laughing. Huh? Flexible time so that you can have a work-life balance, right? So you have to be in this 9 to 5. More like 9 to 9, 9 to 9, sometimes 6 to 10. So 6 to, I mean, how many of you have put on your business cards or your website available 24/7? Heck to the no. Absolutely not. Was I when I first started real estate? 1,000%. Yes. I was available 24/7. You called me, I'd answer the phone. I didn't care what time it was. You want to go look at a house to rent? I got you. You're not qualified? No big deal. I'll show you something. Right? New agents just want to get the practice, and that's okay. I think that's great. Just know that there is this thing called work-life balance that you're going to have to master. Shelly talks about it a lot. One of her coaches refused to continue working with her until she actually booked a vacation. I've utilized that with my own coaching clients. Those who are like, oh, I feel like I'm burning out. I'm like, cool. Our next call will not happen until you actually have booked a vacation. Because it's important. Because here's the other thing, you guys. Real talk. In real estate, when you book a vacation, what happens? You get a transaction. You got a buyer who wants to go look at property. You got a seller that wants to sell a home. Every single time without fail. Why are you not taking more vacations? I mean, it's almost like it pays for itself. Why are you not taking more vacations? So, a couple things that you should be aware of. Yes, our business has irregular hours. And that's okay as long as you manage those irregular hours. What does it look like for you? I have a stop on my phone that says I'm like it's called sleep. It's it turns off the phone at night and then doesn't turn it back on until the morning. I don't hear any beeps. I don't hear any buzzing. I don't feel it. Like nothing happens. It is on do not disturb from a certain time at night until a certain time in the morning. Somebody's ringing. Yeah. Yeah, they need it too. It's Janet's phone. Client demands. I know. Clients have expectations and they demand a lot of us. And they will continue to do it unless we set boundaries. And then they will respect it. Some just don't know how, and that's okay too. They might not be the client that you want to work with. Market pressure, we've got fluctuations that causes stress, that allows us to stay from, unable to do this work-life balance. So how do you avoid burnout? You set boundaries. You make sure you set boundaries. You have a time that you do certain things. If you're cold calling, I will tell you right now, Beta, does anything bother you while you're cold calling? Doesn't matter. I mean, the building could be burning down. He's like, no, I've got a cold call. Fire alarm's going off. He's cold calling. Even if it's outside sitting on the sidewalk, he is cold calling because he has blocked out that time to do it. He's not taking client calls at the time. He is setting appointments. If you've got to time block. If you guys looked at my calendar, it would blow your mind. I'm involved in a lot of stuff. I color coordinate all of it. All of it. And I know I can look at my entire week and say, ooh, got too much yellow in here. That's all nonprofit work. Got too much purple in here. That's all signature real estate stuff. Got too much, green in here. That's this activity. Got too much orange. That's this activity. Everything is scheduled in that way. So I can look at my week and say, I probably need to build more time for this next week. And I can review it in that way. I set those boundaries. Everything's time blocked. Time management, obviously, that's what I just talked about. Delegate. If you don't have an assistant, that's okay. You can get virtual assistants for like almost $400 a month right now. Virtual assistants for $400 a month. And I love that some of you don't mind managing your own transactions. I think it's great in the beginning so you know what you need and what things need to happen. But we talked about this in the panel a couple weeks ago as well, the top producer panel. After a minute, you got to start using a transaction coordinator so that you can do those activities that help you get more transactions. Self-care. This is the miracle morning. This is the morning routines that you should be developing. So you got emphasize the importance of self-care activities like exercise, relaxation, and spending time with loved ones. Forward. Next slide, please. Okay, so you can turn this off. So a couple of things that happen every morning. I do this thing I call the daily focus. Now, when I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is meditate. Every morning, 15 minutes. I actually have this really cool thing. I've got two things that I use if I'm traveling. I've got this little device. It's called Sensate, Sensate. It goes right here, and I'll send you guys the link for the newsletter, Janet. It's called Sensate. It goes right here, and there's an app, and the app actually allows me. It vibrates with the music, so I put my earbuds in. And it vibrates to help me meditate. And it's almost like guided meditation for me when I'm out of town. When I'm in town, I have this bed called a sound lounge. And also, so what it does is it fully immerses you. It's a ridiculous expense that I did. But what it does is I lay on the bed, I've got the headphones, and the entire bed vibrates to the music. So it's completely immersive. Not only am I meditating and hearing the meditation, but I am actually feeling it. When you engage more than one of your senses in anything, it actually works better. So how many of you read a book or listen to it on Audible? I do both at the same time. Because now I've engaged my hearing and my visualization for better understanding, because I've engaged two senses now. So I do both. I get the Audible and I have the book in hand, and I read it while I listen to it. Try it. It'll blow your mind. Because how many of you have listened to an Audible and your mind wanders? Or you start doing things. Can't do things if you've got a book in your hand. How many of you read a book and they have to go back and read the same paragraph like 6 times? So when I listen to it and I read it, I'm focused. It's all in. Yeah. Do you have I thought you had a question. Oh, you were just responding to me. Okay. So a couple of things, my morning routine. So every day I come in here and I do a thing called the Daily Focus. We've got meditation. I do my reading and I work out. So I have my cardio in the morning, and then I actually do my weightlifting in the evening, because that's the only time my trainer can meet with me. So I do that. I read a book. I listen to a podcast or something like an Ed Milet or someone like that. I'll listen to a podcast or something that'll make me a better person, that'll get me in the right mindset, that'll get me super excited. And those are all things that I do. I will also send out gratitude messages and cards. So every day, 2 people will get something of gratitude from me, whether it's a card that's handwritten or a text message every day. I live in gratitude every single day. And then I plan for my day and what my week looks like. Just to give you an idea of some of the goals, like for instance, that I've set. Let's see. I generate 25% more modern day mailbox money, also known as ACH, through my than earned income through my 16 plus streams, because money flows easily to me. It's one of my top 10 goals, is to have 25% more mailbox money than earned income, meaning I'm not physically actually doing anything. That money's just coming to me because I've built something that allows for it. I procure enough property management accounts to allow for at least $10,000 a month in passive income to me by the end of the year. I travel to a minimum of 1 unique international destination every single year, and at least 1 wonder of the world each year. And then I do gratitude. Every day is gratitude. I have 10 things of minimum that I'm in gratitude of all the time. And then I do the affirmations. The affirmations are key. That's similar to what Jimmy was talking about. And we're running out of time. Janet, why don't you tell me we're running out of time? I'm wrapping up. So conscious self-creation, also known as affirmations, is a big deal. So I start mine with my children. So I've got them in different categories. I'm an amazing, loving, caring, present, and patient mother who always makes time for my children, consistently shows them love, and provides them with a safe, judgment-free environment to express who they are and how they feel. I'm a beautiful, sexy, kind, fit bombshell who fuels my body with healthy foods. These are affirmations that I say every day. I've got about 37 of them, 38 of them, every single day. I've broken them down into categories for affirmations about my kids, affirmations about myself, affirmations about my relationship with others, affirmations about my relationship with the man of my dreams, wherever and whoever he is. And I've got affirmations about my finances, and then my general, like, just, I'm going to crush this day affirmations.
Do you do them all separately, or do you do like the 1 and 25? Remember how we learned it for Ninja? It was like 1.
I do them all separately, but so I write them, I read them, I say them, I feel them, I hear them every day.
But 1, then
Just
a
one.
different one, then a different one, then a different one?
Yeah.
Or 1.
Nope, just one and a different one and a different one and a different one. But it's the same ones every day.
Okay.
Like I've been saying these for 2 years.
So 37 different ones.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. That's part of my morning routine. So, and it's, I plan my week in a way that so we take the business plan that you have for the year, I minimize it then to what it looks like for the quarter, and then I take it down to what it looks like for 30 days in order to achieve that 1-year goal, and then I take it down weekly, and then I calendar everything. It's the way to do it. Any questions?
What time do you get up in the morning?
4:45. Why are you laughing? Okay, yeah. My phone doesn't turn on at 4:45. I get up at 4:45. Generally about 10. Somewhere between 9:30 and 10. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.